We are hearing more about Brittney Griner's long trip home, that she did not want to sit in silence, instead spending 12 hours of that 18-hour flight speaking with officials and the flight crew, making a personal connection with every single person on that plane. And now Viktor Bout, the convicted arms dealer Russia got in return, is speaking out for the first time since he arrived back in Moscow, coming out in strong support of Putin's war in Ukraine. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil live for us in Washington. And Joe, the man known as the Merchant of Death, strongly putting his support behind the Russian military now.
Yeah, it was really interesting to get some of his insight on the conflict. And look, Natasha, there does seem to be some consensus among lawmakers and among defense officials that bringing Brittney Griner home, getting her back to American soil, was a good thing. But there's also this legitimate debate, given Viktor Bout's history, playing out right now about whether it was too much of a risk to release somebody who potentially is dangerous and could seriously threaten American lives as a free man.
I am proud that I am a Russian person, and I know that we will always win.
Notorious Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, fresh off his release from an American federal prison, making news in his first TV interview Saturday, praising Vladimir Putin and the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Like any Russian person, I honestly didn't understand why we didn't do it sooner. I'm entirely in support of it.
Bout claims American authorities tested him psychologically, sometimes, he says, denying him food. Bout says he kept his spirits up and kept a picture of Russian President Putin in his cell.
I'm proud that I'm a Russian person and that Putin is our president.
Bout's American attorney, Steve Zissou, told NewsNation despite Bout's history, trafficking dangerous weapons often used to target Americans, his client is no longer a threat.
Is he going to be actively involved, maybe in politics, maybe in helping other folks, establishing a new business? Absolutely. But does the U.S. have anything to fear from him? Absolutely no.
He's a dangerous man then. I don't know how dangerous he is now.
But some, like former U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara, who once prosecuted Bout, say the U.S. can't rule out Bout picking up where he left off, dealing arms and putting American lives at risk. It's led many in Congress in both parties to wonder whether the deal was wise, even if it did secure the release of American Brittney Griner.
We held the cards here. Okay, that's their number one guy and from Russia that they wanted out. It's shocking that we weren't able to get Paul Whelan out too for, again, their number one guy.
Senator Tommy Tuberville tells NewsNation the U.S. gave up its bargaining leverage over Russia, and Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, worries about the precedent this deal sets, saying he's happy to have Griner home, but adds, quote, "We cannot ignore that releasing Bout back into the world is deeply disturbing. We must stop inviting dictatorial and rogue regimes to use Americans overseas as bargaining chips."
So, Natasha, the White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said today that if Viktor Bout does actually return to dealing arms and putting Americans at risk, the U.S. is going to do everything it can to properly hold him accountable, just like they did in the past. And I thought this was the most important and sort of interesting piece, Natasha. He said they actually did a national security assessment on Viktor Bout, but that whatever risk he posed is, in Kirby's words, manageable. Interesting.
Very interesting. And Joe, there are some key developments in the war in Ukraine as well. What is the latest there?
Yeah, Natasha, both sides seem to be going on the offensive this weekend. We'll start with the Russian side. Forces actually launched a drone strike that hit two energy facilities in Odessa, the Ukrainian port city there, leaving almost 1.5 million Ukrainians without power. And this is right on par with Russia's recent strategy to target civilian infrastructure ahead of what's going to be a cold winter. And on the other side, the Ukrainian forces launched an aggressive attack on a former hotel in the city of Melitopol, also in Ukraine, but it's a place where scores of Russian soldiers were believed to be staying. No official count on how many Russian soldiers were killed there. But all of this also comes in the shadow of Vladimir Putin making remarks on Friday about leaving on the table a preemptive strike, again referencing nuclear weapons. So that clearly overshadowing what's happening on the ground there and a serious risk. Natasha.
All right, Joe Khalil, appreciate it. Thank you. And let's welcome. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.